Walk us through quickly the steps of making a ballet like this.
So the longest part is the research, watching the films, the documentaries, interviews, reviews, different stories. I'm working with Jérôme Kaplan, who had studied, he's a designer from Paris. He knew a lot about her. We went to see an exhibit. So that's a very long section of the process.
Like how long?
I would say 8 months, 9 months. And it's almost like you're afraid to start, because where do you start? Like the blank page is the scariest moment until you write. And so, first I talked to my artistic collaborator, Nancy Meckler. She's a theater director in the UK. And then she sends me to write, and I do 3 scenes and I send it to her. And she's always happy when it's only 3 scenes. Then when it's 6, that's when she's not happy. And she's the one really taking care of, are the characters well introduced? How do we know who is who? Because we don't know names. So she's very strict about that. I love her for that. She's 82 years old. She's dynamite. And then we go to the costume and set design. Where do we set it? How literal do we want to be? How, what is the concept of the design? Of course, with Chanel, there is a silhouette, but we can't really copy. We have to make slight changes in the design. And then comes the music. And it's France, so you will hear some French kind of sounding music, Debussy sort of things, but it's all done by Peter Salem. I've worked with Peter and Nancy already on 4 other pieces. And then comes finally, after being postponed twice, comes finally the moment that I get, to do the steps, because I don't make steps at home. I see scenes, I see in my head the energy of a scene and what it has to be, but I don't know which step it's going to be. And so on Monday, I finally almost imploded because I made the first scene.
Talk a little bit more about the process in the studio. What happens? I did not know this, that you don't come in with, do you have some steps in mind, some phrases, or do you know the music really well? How prepared are you, and what's preparation like?
Well, I think I don't count the music, so I don't have a score. Some choreographers have the score. I listen to the music. I know exactly what the scene is about. And then I forget everything. I come to the studio because I have to make it with the people that I have in front of me. They are like clay and I'm the sculptor. And if the clay is, stiffer, then I'll go that way, So I've realized from doing it so many years that the more I prepare in detail, the more I get the writer's block, because it's never as good as in your head. So I prefer to not be too prepared. And I used to be a choreographer that I would show up steps full out, and I was always disappointed that the dancers couldn't do it like me. And now I try to do step the worst way. So the more clumsy I am, the more I see dancers thinking, I don't want to look like her. And then they transform into swans, and it's amazing. I should have done that when I was 30 years old.
Yeah, I remember, I haven't seen you this week too much, but
no, I have shoes on. I just,
Probably 10 years ago was the first time that I commissioned work from you, and you were doing everything full out. And I remember seeing you post on social media, kickball change. Yes, you were doing it full out.
No, now I really learned that they have to translate ideas of a step, and it's going to be, like high fashion, it's couture. I make it on those people.
And what about the structure? So the music is done. Are you how prepared are you? You don't have steps, but surely you've got a structure in mind because you're storytelling.
Yes. So I know what scene is, what it is about and how it starts. I just posted that on social media. I always know how a piece starts, and that's it. So I know every scene, I know how they start, and then I'll see what happens that day. And I like to work chronologically, because every scene that you make, you think, oh, it's amazing. And then you put 3 scenes together and you're like, start all over again. So that happened already today, that I had to change an entire duet because it just didn't fit energetically.
Sure.
So yeah, chronologically is my game.